What is going on, guys? I'm Beat, and I'm gonna be telling you guys something pretty cool, something pretty funny that happened to me a while back ago. So it would now be about 3 years ago. My dad one day just randomly bursted into my room. He looks at me for maybe like 5-10 seconds, and he just has this expression on his face that, and no, I was instantly thinking, man, someone died. So he just told me, you know what, come with me, you know, this is important. And all of a sudden my dad just looks at me with the most serious face ever. And the whole time I was thinking, you know, someone died, this is it. And my dad just tells me, I need new shoes. So he just pretty much just slammed my door open, had me worrying that someone had died, and he just told me I need to go buy new shoes, and he wanted me to go with him. That's really just the only reason why he did that. I was extremely worried. I thought I didn't get to say my last goodbye to someone. You know, I messed up. This is my fault. I didn't say goodbye to this person. It was a random Sunday, and I went with my dad. You know, he had told me if I wanted to go with him. I really didn't want to, but I really just didn't want to stay in my room the entire day. So I went with my dad. I don't like speeding cars. Like I'm completely terrified about it. You know, it just, you know, scares the freaking crap out of me. That's just not me. I can't do that. You know, it freaks me out a lot. I'm just totally like freaking out every single time, you know, someone's driving fast. I'm freaking out. So my dad was driving fast down the road, and he knew he was driving fast. He didn't. It came to this little part on the road where, you know, he decided he wanted to cut someone off. You know, they got into an argument. They were flipping each other off. They were, you know, they both had their windows down, so they were both talking smack to each other. You know, F this, F that, F all this, or whatever. And me, you know, I don't really like to get into arguments and all that. You know, especially with my dad. When my dad's around, I really don't like getting into arguments, because my dad, when he argues, he doesn't really know how to fight an argument. You know, he doesn't know how to argue at all, because, you know, with him is I'm right and that's it. Like, pretty much he thinks his word is law in a sense. And I mean, when you're angry, you know, everybody thinks that they're right, and that's just how it is. Everybody thinks they're right when they're angry. But my dad takes it to a whole nother level. My dad didn't care that he cut this guy off. He was just, you know, he was going about his day. You know, they were both talking smack to each other. It was normal, you know, for my dad. I think that's normal, because that happens to him so often. You know, when I'm with him, you know, he always gets mad at another driver for one reason or another. You know, it's never his fault in his eyes. You know, he doesn't know how to say he's sorry, in a way, because, you know, he's just always used to, because when he argues, he just thinks he's right 100% of the time. You know, there's nothing wrong with his arguments. There's nothing. That's just him. That's how he thinks arguments are for him. So after we got back from the store, you know, we had cut this guy off already. You know, everything was done. We had gone to the store. We were on our way back home. You know, he decided, you know, I'm gonna go visit a friend. So we had gotten to my dad's friend's house, and, you know, they're pretty funny guys, and they like to laugh a lot, but they also like to, you know, act tough around each other. So I already knew my dad was gonna say something ridiculous. I mean, it's something they always do. You know, they turn a slap boxing fight into a, you know, full on fist fight with freaking, I don't know, with freaking brass knuckles on, and someone has a steel chair off the top rope, you know, our arm bar full, you know, 720 no scope across the map. You know, they like to exaggerate a lot when it comes to these things. It's the funniest thing ever to me. You know, I just sit there and I laugh at their stories, because I know maybe, you know, half of the story is true, and I mean, and the rest of it is just completely, you know, made up. And I think it's funny to see them lie like this. It's so funny. You know, I don't really lie about this. If you guys have seen my YouTube, seen anything, you know, previous videos I've ever uploaded to any channel, I don't like to lie. You know, on YouTube, I'm an open book. I'll tell everything straight up, and I won't lie about it. If someone from school or someone that I actually know finds it, you know, I don't care. You know, I'll say the truth, and that's really about it. You know, I knew my dad was gonna tell a story, and I knew he was gonna say something ridiculous. I just didn't expect to hear what he said. I was gonna expect, you know, I completely cut this guy off, and it was, you know, it was so close, we were about to crash and we almost died, or something like that. That's what I expected. I expected, you know, a near-death story. My dad decided to take it a few notches above you know, what anybody would have expected from him. So he randomly just turns around and says, yeah, you know, we pulled over and then you know, I punched him in the face and, you know, I knocked him out. My dad really said that, and he knew I saw the entire thing. I wasn't about to call my dad out, you know, in front of all his friends. That's just not what I'm about. When my dad was telling the story, it's just crazy how convincing sometimes my dad is. You know, this was a point where I figured out my dad was an amazing liar. I mean, he told this story about how he punched this guy. You know, I don't know how he did it, but he ended up with a little bruise on the knuckle of his middle finger. He really had a bruise on his hand, and I didn't see this bruise before. I was really wondering where this had come from. You know, I don't know what he did, but he really wanted his friends to believe this story. I don't know why, if there was like a point behind this. Maybe they called him out or something before, but he really wanted his friends to believe this. He put a lot of effort into this. My dad, you know, went into so much detail that at one point, you know, I thought, you know, where was I that I missed all this action? I really believed him, and I was there. I saw the entire thing, and I was believing my dad. Ain't nobody messing with my dad. My dad will beat your dad up. I was really thinking like that for a good 10 seconds. Then I thought to myself, there's no way this happened. There's no way I could have knocked out for freaking a whole maybe 3 minutes. The other guy was ready to fight. The other guy pulled over and he was waiting for my dad to do the same thing. And I saw my dad drive away. Yo, triple headshot feed, woo! This is the first triple headshot feed I've ever gotten on this game, and I've been playing this game since the day it came out. Now, personally, me, I think I inherited this little, you know, the whole lying thing from my dad. I mean, I'm a pretty great liar. I'm not gonna even play with you guys. My dad put on a show. I couldn't believe it. So that's why I really don't do it, because I just feel terrible. I feel terrible lying to, you know, to friends about small things too. You know, I can't just be like, oh, you look good in that dress, you know, something like that. I can't do that. That's just not me. Anyways, guys, please don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to put something in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. If anything like this has ever happened to you guys before, let me know, because I think it'd be really cool to see if someone, you know, has had an experience like this before, or someone has had, you know, a parent lie like this before to you know, their friends. It happens to me all the time. You know, as a kid, I never really noticed it, but I realized that my parents actually do lie a lot. Not necessarily to me, but to their friends, and it's really funny when they tell these stories. It just makes me laugh. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'm out. Late.